look in the eyes of my brother. Without
5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. It wasn't that funny, but the look on Aaron's face really did.
Call me off guard. 5, 4, 3,
oh man, I'm sorry, I had to do that to you. Welcome back to another episode of the InforMILLy Honest Podcast. 4 brothers from the middle neighborhood of Gary, Indiana, coming to you to talk about this thing called life after we've led very different lives after a hearty friendship of over 20 years. So, my name is Josh. We got Aaron.
Yo. Off top, I just want to say free chill. It's been too long. It's been way too long.
I thought Chill got out. Is he still legit?
I think got 44.
Yeah.
One of the Lupe songs.
Listen to the Lupe. Off top, free chill. Yeah.
We got Adam. Adam.
What's up, guys? What's up?
And last but of course, never least, we got Marco.
What's up, everybody?
So, for the long-time listeners, I know you might be like, why are we still introducing y'all? And you're like 90-something episodes in. And it's because we might have new listeners, right? Our YouTube numbers are up by like 10 views. So they may be real people. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey, drop the applause, man.
Huh?
We
Drop
need
the
to
applause. Give one of the cool bombs in there.
Hey, just look like you're reaching for something. You know, we'll make that happen.
The thing is, like a 10 view increase is like a 200% increase. So that's,
That's like giving the full detail to peek behind the scenes on these fools.
If we keep doubling up like that, tripling up.
In about 6-7 years, we'll be on top. I'm just joking. No, that's actually it's cool, man. Like,
man,
any increase is a good increase.
Absolutely. And I always think about I think Adam, you said it was Kev on stage that made the quote. It was like you got to, or maybe I saw it. He was like, if you really want to do this podcasting thing, you got to be ready to do 100 episodes with less than 100 views. And I was like, man, we are fucking in route, man.
Yeah. We got the Garmin plugged in the car. We on route, son. Shout out to Garmin, old school. That was what? That was after MapQuest.
Yeah. Those are like the original like mainstream GPSs, Garmin.
Yeah.
Garmin,
you know what though?
Dude,
and the graphics on that fucking Garmin was trash. It was like the first Madden.
it was
the
like
graphics were terrible.
With like they only had green.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't even know if y'all remember this, but this had to be like in 2007 or 8.
Okay.
But we went. I think it was me, Marco, and I think Aaron and Josh. I don't know if you went.
Okay.
But we had went to IU to Bloomington.
Nope, I didn't go.
Okay. And we had hung out with Jennifer and I think Tia was there.
Mm.
It was at least them two, and maybe if they had some like friends of their college friends, whatever. But anyway, I remember Mark, you brought your GPS, and it was the first time I had ever like seen a GPS. Like what the heck is this? But it was because originally I had printed out. I remember printing out directions off of MapQuest to get to IU, and this was like in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Maybe 2007, but 2008 at the absolute latest. It was just a memory. I remember that.
I remember that in your red truck, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that the time we got pulled over?
Yep.
Yeah. I remember that shit.
Sure did.
I just loved, man, dude. We need to have a moment of silence or an applause or both for Bloomington, man. But that campus, I just love that campus, dog. I just want to get that out there for the whole world to hear.
I really didn't know where that was going because you said applause or moment of silence.
Yeah, this shit about to get tragic and celebratory at the same time.
Like, what happened to IU, man?
Right. I like it. Way too rich to close. Like, what happened?
It was such a good walkable campus, such a good skatable campus, man. It was just very artsy and like progressive from what I remember anyway.
I only went twice and I have no like vivid memories of it.
I think I went twice. I think I went one time. I went. I'm gonna have to brag here. Once, that's when we made it to state for track. That's where the meet was at. And then the other was the story I just explained. I think that was the only 2 times I actually went down there.
Shit.
So no learning involved.
But like tell the whole story, because like I do remember us getting pulled over, but like did the GPS even? Because I don't remember bringing the GPS and stuff.
I really, I mean, it worked a lot better than MapQuest. So I mean, I remember it kind of mixing this up a little bit, but I mean, I'm not really surprised in 2007. But I mean, that's really as much story I can remember, to be honest with you.
I feel like we went through like Martinsville or something like that.
Oh, sure, for sure.
One of them sundown towns.
Yeah. I know there's a city in Indiana that always throws me off. I think it's called Whitesville.
Whitestown.
I mean, real close to Gary is Whiting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, Whitestown is like further south. Yeah.
It's like on the way to Ball State, like IUPUI area. So going south. Yeah.
All right. That makes me think. I remember I was in Tennessee some years ago, and there was a street called. It was very unsettling what the street was called. I wish I knew what it was, but it was something like race. I'm not saying it was racist, but it was like it just made me think of race, and it was like, and I was kind of like in the middle of Tennessee, so it wasn't like Nashville or Knoxville or anything. It was like, we were on our way to Gatlinburg, and I remember just seeing the street sign. It's like this doesn't make me feel comfortable. Like whites, I don't know this. Yeah.
Oh, whites only. Yeah.
What you say?
There's a lot of cities that is like has Lynch in the name, like Lynch.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that's what it was, like
Lynchburg.
Lynchburg sounds like it could be one for sure.
Like that one, like give it another chance. Like just retake the city.
I'm sure I told this on the podcast before, but y'all niggas gonna get this again. But I was doing some kind of residency in Colquitt, Georgia, which is like the whole town is like the size of the village.
The man had some of the best Polish sausages ever, by the way.
Yeah.
And on the way, I had to fly into Tallahassee to get to this part of Georgia. Because it was just a closer airport, but still like an hour, maybe even hour and a half, 2 hour drive from that airport. And we're driving. Sweet little old white lady is the one driving me. And so then you know how you drive past
Miss Daisy herself.
Y'all know how you drive past those communities that are like built on the side of a highway, like only separated by that moat. And you're like, why would anyone live like this? And so they're like out there barbecuing and grilling and all of that shit, but none of them are like engaging in their family as they do it. They're all looking at us drive by. Like we might have been the first car they've seen in, days or weeks. And they're like, oh, like everybody's, how motherfuckers in Gary, like they have to stop what they're doing to look at you turn the corner.
Yeah. I knew you was about to say that before you even finished. I know what you're about to say already. It's like, what you looking at? I don't know you, man. You looking at me like this.
No, man.
They have to, no matter what you're doing, you be playing basketball, you just be talking to your friend, you picking the carrot out your garden. If someone drives around the block, you just stop what you're doing, look to see if you know who's in that car, or just stare.
I never understand that.
It's like them and babies. Babies are the only other ones who just
Yeah.
look at you like that blankly.
But to wrap the story up, I asked the woman, I was like, where are we right now? And she was like, oh, Coon Bottom. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And she just obliviously, yeah, it's Coon Bottom. And I'm sitting there trying not to cry from laughing. And she's like, yeah, back in the day, this town was really famous for raising raccoon hunting dogs. And everything in me went, not the kind of coon they were chasing. And so yeah, but I saw nothing but black people on that like road. And so it's like it's Bikini Bottom, but for niggas. Like I don't.
That's hilarious.
Shooting from the hip at the end of season 4, son. My man is trying to win. Steph Curry with the rock. Let's go.
Game 1 tonight.
Does anyone think that Golden State's going to lose?
I do.
Really?
I definitely think like the Celtics has been incredible. Like what they've done in this postseason is
it's game 7.
like it's been like
I think they may go to game 7, but I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Golden State is fantastic, but I just don't think I just think Boston's defense. I'm just basing this purely off defense, which is weird in 2022. But
yeah, for real.
Boston,
Yeah.
I mean, actually Golden State defense is actually pretty good too. But I mean, Boston, they swept KD, they beat Giannis, and I know this is a team sport, but I mean those are
No, I feel you on that.
Then they beat the number 1 seed in Miami. Granted, it did take game 7, but I mean that's impressive to me.
I'm gonna have to oppose you, man. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I mean, most people are. I put it this way: I'm not saying either team is gonna win. I'm not gonna flat out say Golden State is gonna win. Though, put it that. I think Boston has I think it's 50-50. I don't think it's
I think Boston has a hell of a squad that they've been playing well with. Because none of them were top picks in any sense of the word, just like Golden State wasn't. So they built a great roster in that same regard. But Golden State they just got too many hitters.
They do.
And especially with rising stars like I'll always say Joshua Poole. Shout out to you. Jordan Poole.
That's who I always want to say too. Every time I hear Jordan Poole, I think of the dude from Emerson. Every single time.
But like Jordan, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They're a good team. Obviously.
Right now, Steph Curry is like making his case for like top 10.
Yeah.
Like ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of circulation about that. I'm not against that. A lot of people are like, yeah, I don't know about that, but I'm not against it at all.
Hey, it is what it is. Like it comes to a point where like you got to stop hating on LeBron, hating on Kobe, because I'm not the biggest fan of them guys or how their career was, but like you got to give it to them, man. Like Steph Curry is at that point where he's undeniable, and if they stay healthy, like I just feel like as good as Boston is, and I feel like both of those teams like built their team the right way. Like they really went with their draft picks and stuck with them, and even like Al Horford, like them guys been around for a long time, so it's like both of these teams are built similarly, but like Golden State just has too much firepower, consistent. Like
they have to experience too.
Yeah.
Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're good. Like they're actually great, but I don't think they have the consistency like that Steph Curry they have brought to the table. You know what I mean?
And aren't they really? Isn't Boston relatively a young team?
They are. That's what makes it so impressive to me.
Still like some young vets though.
Yeah, because Jason Tatum is only 24, but he's been in the league for 5 years. That's why, like for me, like I kept hearing his name because I don't really watch regular season like that. But I just kept hearing his name come up, like Jason Tatum. I'm like, hasn't he been in the league like 10 years? Like, and then he's only, and then I kept hearing like, he's only 24. I'm like, huh? I felt like I've been hearing his name for like a decade. I feel like, but I guess I haven't.
Hey, you about to say something? My bad.
I was just gonna say Steph Curry could shoot 50. He could average 50% from the stands. If he's just shooting from the stands, he could average 50%. Yo, I'm not even joking. I'm actually not even joking, bro.
Yeah, that may be a fact. Like he actually understand.
Yeah.
I mean, ridiculous.
In actual gameplay, he is like 47%, which is really amazing. So I mean,
it's
go ahead. I'm sorry, Doc.
No, you good.
I was just gonna say random. I don't know if y'all know this dude. Speaking of the NBA, you familiar with Kyle Korver? White dude who's really good at threes. I delivered to his house earlier this week, and I couldn't tell it was him. He was sitting out on the porch with his son. And I was like, at first I was like, is that Ryan Sheckler?
Yeah, Kyle. Speaking of threes,
I was like, kickflip. But as I walked up, and like it was that moment where someone is used. There was that pause, that second or two, where someone is used to being recognized, and we locked eyes, and I was just like, how's it going, man? I just like completely didn't play that whole like, yeah. He was like super cool, and like it was just interesting. I had no idea. Now I know where he lives. So if you ever want to get a exhibition game at his crib, then let me know.
I mean, speaking of threes, he's up there like top 5 of all time.
He is number 5. I think.
Okay.
Somebody just surpassed him to be number 4 recently.
Okay.
He's number 5 all time for 3-pointers.
Could it be Harden?
Yes, Harden.
Okay, I say that sounds like he's the only other person I think of. So maybe.
I believe Kyle Korver has like one of the highest percentage.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
40 something. Yeah,
he was good.
He's a beast. He's also known for being like a really cool cat, like off the court, just in general. Just like he's known for like being like I guess not a dick, in regards to like sports and shit, locker room and otherwise. But anyway, that's my fact, man.
This is my I'm my last thing to say, but this just occurred to me when Adam said his name, Al Horford. I'm saying this as somebody who I know in any game he'll whoop my ass. My man has the ugliest shot in the world.
It is ugly.
My man holds the top of the ball like up here, and then like moves it to push. It's the ugliest. It looks like he's in like a mid game of the claw.
He could shoot though. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
And when he actually played with Kyle Korver, and when they was together, they had a nice little squad in Atlanta.
Yeah, dude. Kyle Korver went to Atlanta 16 times. He went to the Jazz a couple. That motherfucker was bouncing around. I didn't know he was in the league for like 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had fell kind of fallen off a little bit when he with the Bulls. Sorry, Kyle.
The Bulls be doing that too.
Yeah,
the Chicago teams period do that to people.
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah,
he's like a development coach now. I think for the Hawks, maybe somebody. But like, I guess I was looking it up. Like, why didn't he renew his contract or whatever? Because I guess he has some issues, some family issues or something. I know one of his brothers passed away, and then like he kind of like I guess went a different direction. But I was looking into it. There was like an article as of last year saying that he could still play. He's like almost 40, and like he still could have made a roster, like made the team.
No shit.
I was surprised. Like it helps when you can shoot from just about anywhere.
Yeah, sports are changing like that, where you see guys playing way longer. Tom Brady being the most obvious, but then again, quarterback isn't like the position where you're getting hit constantly. But still, Tom Brady, LeBron James, and there's other. Everyone always looks at LeBron James, but there's other basketball players like
Vince Carter was in the league for 57 years.
Yeah, yes, he was talking about somebody explosive when they came in. Jeez,
but what makes LeBron's career so, to me, all inspiring is that he is about to enter his 20th season, but you could say he's still a top 10, 15 player though, even in that, which is it's great. Like if you look at everyone else who played 20 years, which is probably only a handful of people, when they were in year 18, 19, 20, they they were probably scoring like 10 points a game. It was like, and I don't even follow basketball that closely, but I do know LeBron is still very much. I mean, he was in the scoring title race up until like last game or two.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, by the way, I'm talking all this shit. Like I didn't even know who was playing today. Like playing in the playoffs or anything. I'm like I'm out of it, man.
If it wasn't for House of Highlights, I wouldn't know it.
It's interesting. It's like that used to be such a major part of my life, and like I'm still willing to play it. I just prefer to play it versus watch it so much nowadays. But like it used to be so much of my life. It's crazy how that just changed. I don't even remember a specific moment where it transitioned and I just stopped watching. But I was like always watching every Colts game, every Bears game, every play. And it's crazy how something could be such a, Madden included, like could be such a large part of your life. And then one day it's not, man. And that's my sob story right there.
You got your fun fact, you got your sob story. You like,
I'm killing it today. I told you, Doc. It's game 7.
You got 10 likes. I don't see what you're doing,
man. Oh man. Hey, all right. Fuck it. Look, I was gonna save this for a little bit later, but I got a random fact. Let's get to one of them right now. Unless Josh wanted to get into something probably a little more important. Okay. I don't know why, bro. Okay, so I don't know if y'all familiar with that that Nextdoor app.
Oh yeah, ain't that shit that like lets people from carrying out?
Yeah. But like so yeah, a lot of it is like people catching, people either complaining about the most random shit. Like somebody had, like I just saw one the other day and laughed at it because somebody had what other neighbors considered to be vulgar or unsettling or uncomfortable art in their yard. So I guess somebody came up and like destroyed some of it. So the person showed a picture saying, "We caught you on our camera. Like, I suggest you make yourself known, come and apologize, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, we're going to put this shit out and maybe take further action. You can't come up on somebody's yard and like destroy property."
Right.
And then it was like and then it allows, just like Facebook or anywhere, a laundry list of other commenters, half on the side of, it's their fucking yard. Who cares? Like, they're just having fun. It's, it doesn't matter how sick it may be to you, it's their fucking yard. And other people were like, well, it's still quite unsettling, and I just don't understand why you would find that to be okay to do. So you're always getting that same shit. It's social media, whatever. But every so often they'll have something like heartwarming, like this guy saved a what I thought was a mole or a vole, but there's also something called a shrew that's similar, and they're like around the same size, look very similar, pretty much do the same thing. And I guess this guy was catching them and saving them from his pool because they would drown. Sometimes I don't know why. Yeah, that's the wrong water to drink. They clearly don't know. But so randomly, I started doing some mole, vole, and shrew research. Very minimal. And the one thing I just want to say, I just want to lay on the world right now. World meaning, I think we're at what, 32 people? It's whatever.
We love all 32 of you.
Exactly. Those motherfuckers, moles in ideal conditions, dog, can dig up to 18 feet an hour. Is that not crazy to anybody else? That's fucking crazy to me. 18 feet an hour. That's fucking crazy. Those little motherfuckers, dog. How man, that's a lot of energy. You're expending so much energy, man.
18 feet an hour.
That's a lot, dog.
I think he could do better.
He could do better, my man. He's not conditioning, huh? He hit it with the Allen Iverson. Practice? Practice? 18 feet, son. Practice?
Shout out to Sandshrew.
I thought that too. I was like, yeah.
I thought those Pokemon, the Sandshrew, Sand Slash thing. Was that third one? Was it?
No, it was only else.
The 2-piece. Okay. I always thought it was interesting that there were some Pokemon that just had 2, and then some had 3. I like, well, what's the correlation here? But yeah. Anyway, I always thought Sand Slash looked cool because of all the scales and the claws. Just
right.
Yeah.
Icy.
And I'm sure it looked just like a shrew. I didn't even realize. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together like that. But Yeah, but on another note, if no one else has anything, I do want to comment
That's true.
quickly on that art and how y'all feel about it, right? Since we're kind of just going off the top right now, it seems.
That's easy for me.
So the person, are you just a natural born freestyler?
No, it's as simple as this. If you didn't buy it, don't touch it. I mean, it's
I thought you said going off the top is easy for you. Like
no.
I mean, are you a natural born freestyler, my man?
No, I mean my response to that is like, regardless of how, like, I see Confederate flags on people's yards. As much as I don't like it, I'm not gonna go and snatch it off off their yard or anything. It's like, I mean, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll keep driving.
Yeah, it's like it's the audacity. It's like you don't recognize that you have audacity by walking on their property and doing that.
Yeah, what happens if you get shot and then you're gonna be
complaining
or dead? One of them.
Yeah. Missing an artery. Yeah, come on, man. But like, so the art was dolls. It was like little baby dolls with like limbs torn off, and like it was a random like. I don't know if the fish was already there or the fish was part of the thing that the person who destroyed other things like put on there to like fuck with them. But it was like a fish with like a doll in its mouth. So folks were saying like, this is really sadistic. We don't understand it. And it's like, yeah, it can be all those things, but still don't go on the fucking property.
It's like you don't own it. You shouldn't be able to touch it. People in their hypocrisy. It's not surprising that it happened just because people always want to have some kind of don't want to leave people to their own autonomy and want to impose their feelings, thoughts, perspectives, etc. It's an eyesore to us because we're a part of the neighborhood, but it's on their property. Yeah. So,
I mean, have they tried talking to the people first, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. He didn't. Like, he just posted like. He posted it and said he was going to give the person like a week. He said you have till the end of the week to show your face. That's what he said. Actually, it just actually made me laugh so hard. But I just feel like that was some shit that a line you'd hear from like Home Alone or something. You have till the end of the week.
Or like a villain.
But none of the neighbors ever said anything to him to begin with. Like, hey, it's a fantastic art piece, but some of the neighbors are feeling away.
Yeah, our property value is going down. Just use that one.
Yeah. So HOAs and stuff, man, are interesting. I mean, they're good. It's kind of like unions to me in jobs. They're good and bad depending on the context. Like unions allow motherfuckers to really slack off, and it's really hard to fire them. It also helps you get really good. It's fucked up, dude. But at the same time, it's like. It's so we all know somebody who's like, man, why are you still here? how are you still here, man? But it also gets you good contracts and shit,
I think. Oh, you go ahead, Mark. You saying?
I honestly forgot what I was about to say. Yard thing, but I was. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just say about the union thing. I think unions are great, but I think it's.
I got it now.
I think it's funny that you say that because I've always thought they were great, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people are rewarded for like mediocre job performance.
It's like, yo, he is getting $16,000 raise. How?
Or like recently, there was this thing where like there's this issue. So I'm not in union, but I'm not in a union, but the construction workers that we end up hiring are union. So it's just an interesting dynamic in that way. So like there's rules. So like, there's a bunch of rules. And one of them is, I mean, this makes sense, but they can't be paid late, which I completely agree with. But the issue is if you are paid late and they decide to complain to their union, I don't know how accurate this is, but a guy was telling me yesterday that the unions can charge whatever company is not paying their guys $100 an hour until they pay them whatever they owe them. And I don't mean $100 an hour like 8-hour shift. I mean like
to the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, so you mean to tell me like if this dude gets his check 2 days later, he's gonna get a $4,800
check? Yeah, like that's crazy.
Unions get their money, man.
Yeah, and like I said, I get. I mean, that's valid. People should be paid on time. But sometimes it's just a legitimate accident, man. We didn't mean to do that. Like that's uncalled for.
Yeah, systems fail sometimes.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, is it? What are you? Am I, Marcus? You might have to check this out. But is it true? I feel like in a lot of the old school mob movies, right? You hear about like one of the ways they were smuggling money and doing things were through unions. Like that's how they would like own America. Like the mobsters and shit would had a lot of ties.
Yeah.
Is that true, right? It's interesting how it went from like that and like damn near having full control of America if they really wanted to, and like where the money's flowing and all that shit, to like actually helping the people out and like letting motherfuckers who come to work maybe 3 times a week, you know what I'm saying? Keep it down.
I feel like essentially the mobsters just transitioned into public office, you know, like sadly, like the police force, like the politicians and you know, firemen and stuff like that. No, I'm not saying all of them.
You just busted yo, I'm not here to say nobody. So where's the cash now?
All the essential workers.
I need you to run them jewels now.
Garbage man.
Oh man. It's game 7, baby.
Honestly, I think the mob had something to do. I think Donald Trump and the mob had something to do back like in the 80s or 90s with like Trump Tower, or because they the mob the mafia or no, it's not just the mob, but just Italian mob families. They were heavily into like construction companies because it's easy to just be like, it's easy to clean your money in construction. Because I mean, I just from my experience, I mean, so much money is spent on like just tools and equipment. It's like it's just thousands of dollars. Just like, you know, weekly.
It's kind of where I was going with the like they took over, because like with the union stuff, they most definitely did take over the unions.
Yeah.
So, like if you control the unions, you can pretty much do what you want, like with the workers.
And you control like transportation of a lot of shit and all of that. Yeah.
Big.
Yeah.
There was something on Netflix. I wish I knew what it was, and this doesn't help anybody, but there was a series, like a docu-series or something, and they were actually detailing that how the mob was involved in construction back in the 80s and 90s and stuff. Like I said, if I find it, I'll put it in post. But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting.
Man,
that's it. I
was just gonna say, like, when I was in the union, I won't say which one. Just like I went to the main place, and it was like it's like you could tell it's just money. Like it's like granted everything. The place is one of the biggest buildings, like indoor, outdoor facilities. And if you look on the walls, it's like those guys. Those guys that you think look like.
Adam, it's called Fear City.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I was trying to be quick.
If I see the cover art, because I'm bad with titles, so I see the cover art, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it.
So there's a Netflix series called Fear City, New York versus the Mafia. And that's what it's telling me. But
I might have actually started that one. Yeah, I think I might have. Yeah, because they were talking about like the top 5 families, right? Like the main families.
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy how like the 5 leaders of the 5 families would like sit down and like discuss how things are gonna go for the next year, and like you know who rules what and blah blah blah.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, yeah. This is kind of interesting to me because I was actually talking to Kirsten about this the other day. I forgot why it came up, but it was along the lines. Sorry, it's going to be about race again, but it was essentially how society kind of praises mobsters, like the mob life, the mob
Mhm.
stories, like movies like Casino and Goodfellas.
Godfather, Goodfellas, yeah.
But it's like we look at the Italian gangsters like, oh, that's so cool. But then if it's anybody else, it's like they're just a menace to society, and
Right.
you don't want to see them.
That's true.
I've always thought that was super interesting to me.
I was just at a show and this phenomenal dude named Phenom was hosting the show, and or actually it was Phenom. So I don't know if it was spelled. I don't know how it's spelled, but he pronounced it Phenom.
Yo, man is self-proclaimed. He's like, I'm gonna make this shit happen. If I have to name myself there, I'm gonna make it happen.
Like, I don't know that, like, it might have been spelled like with an F. I don't know. But he was saying
Yo,
like
manifestation, baby.
he was saying like you can't fall into the hype of you can't fall into false narratives like people acting like Chicago hasn't had gangster shit happening for forever, because they'll say something about black kids doing it today or black folk doing it today, but praise Al Capone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
true.
Yeah, like Chicago's been notorious for gang life for like 100 years.
Well before niggas had any money.
Like it's always been like a crime paradise. Like,
yeah, damn, that's
just changes. That's pretty much it.
And was it always in the same, like, did the neighborhoods change from back then to now, or was it always in the South and West Side or whatever?
Well, I can't necessarily say to some degree, just because, and maybe someday we'll get fact checkers and they'll cut this part of me saying this out of maybe some more accurate history than me. So if you do, hey, future self, people are going to correct you. But the city didn't used to be so blatantly segregated as it is now, only because Lakeshore Drive and 94 didn't exist yet. Those were built purely so that people, so for white folks could go past the black parts of town and then be able to build past it, so they didn't have to drive to those neighborhoods.
Got you. Okay, got you.
And so I don't know if it was so distinctly like, South Side is black, North Side is white and queer, and then the downtown is rich, and then the West Side is
white with a side of queer. that whole phrase, like whenever you say like such and such with a side of something, I laugh almost every time. It's so easy to be so good.
Yeah, West Side is primarily Latin and black. It's or Hispanic and black, whichever one you identify as.
Is that a thing? Like, did y'all hear? I feel like I heard something on the lines of most of the issues in different cities are on the South Side or West Side. Is there truth to that? Did y'all hear something like that?
Not necessarily. I know there's usually like some kind of direction put on it to tell you that's a dangerous part of town. But not saying like it's
folks said it was
South.
consistent. I always wondered if that was actually true or not. Obviously, I haven't been to.
No,
that can't be true.
But yeah. Because
I know there's part like, for Los Angeles, we know that. No, I don't know if we know that, but we know like the East Los Angeles, I know is historically is Hispanic, and there's some Hispanic gangs in there.
Right.
Obviously, South Central, whatever that means, because that's like two different directions. But I'm guessing that's like in the South, but dead center. I guess I don't know. But,
I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
No, I'm saying like, and I think like what I'm saying is there's pretty much crime in every big city, but in every big city, different parts of the city happens to be the high crime area. I think Baltimore happens to be the East Side. I could be wrong on that, but Chicago happens to be the South and West. It just varies. So I don't know if you could say like every West and South side of every city is bad. I don't think.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard something like that. And I remember thinking like, what, is this true? But I wonder how many folks actually believe that. Or
I think
I could be making that shit up, or like putting bits and pieces of different things that I heard.
There's some kind of. Go ahead, Marco.
Like wherever the water is where the most expensive place is in your city. If you think about it, especially if it's a big city. So wherever the opposite is going to be like the poverty areas outside of the big city. So that's usually where like it is like in the impoverished areas. So
yeah. And I know in like the water's north for what? And Miller is the water north, and Chicago the water north.
Chicago's east.
Chicago's east.
It's east. So and Miller is north. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of moniker kind of happens for people trying to denote like, hey, that's the dangerous of the black part of town or what have you. Because North Philly and there was another one I can't think of right now, but like I know that exists. What cracks me up is on the opposite side of the spectrum. Back home, we know we have Gary in the different parts of Gary, Miller, Terrytown, Color Glen Park. Like we have all of that. But apparently, right before you get into Maryville, Hobart, there's a little section outside of Glen Park of white folks that don't want that want Gary property taxes, but not all the other shit that comes with being in Gary. So they actually like whatever legal way refer to that little couple square blocks as South Gary.
Yeah.
And they got away with that? Damn.
Yeah.
It's some areas
they do what they want.
Yeah.
Some areas, I feel like there's a bunch of areas like that that's like technically Gary, but they just want to call themselves other things,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To not be associated.
Not be associated with it, right?
Hey, thought about, obviously we probably thought about this, but like the food tells you where you are in cities. So for the most part, like okay, so if you see a churches, like you kind of know what type of area you were in.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Sharks.
Right, if you see a shark, it could be, it could be the bad area, but it could be the okay.
That's so valid. Actually, 'cause I was driving today. Actually, I was at one point. I think I was like in Oak Park.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
it's a suburb technically.
Yeah, it's a nicer area, and I'm like, okay, and then I started noticing the roads starting to get a little bit bumpier and like more potholes. I'm like, okay, we must, then I'm looking around like, okay, I'm seeing more black drivers. And then I see a sharks, and I was like, okay, now we're no longer, and it's so crazy how like
there's no Starbucks.
It's crazy.
There's no Starbucks.
Oh man,
no Starbucks in Gary at all.
No,
they need one though.
Everywhere,
everywhere, bro. I was just talking to my girl today about. I went to Target. They had a Starbucks in it.
Yeah.
Not right next door, adjacent. There's a Kroger with a Starbucks in it.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, man.
Yo, if you get the chance, I think it was on the episode of Adam Conover has a new show called The G Word.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I think he unpacked on there, unless I'm completely mixing up with something else, was franchises and how companies incentivize people to make franchises across from each other. So, like it's
a chess move, man.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. So you maybe think about that. I had something else. I forgot it.
Yeah, like man, it's like for me, like I would say, like so this past semester, I was okay. So my major is urban planning, but we study a lot of like city stuff, and like a lot of what we're talking about has come up, kind of like how racist cities are and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember us like we had one class that our professors like, what are some indicators that gentrification, could be happening, and people were given these intellectual answers like, oh, okay, cool. And then someone said something about like that wasn't necessarily quote intellectual, and I was like, well, if you're going there, Whole Foods, every time you see a Whole Foods open up, that's pretty much like a guaranteed indicator.
I guarantee your property value is about to jump the fuck up.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's something I respect about that, because like it's honest. it's like
Okay, you gotta unpack this one.
nobody's gonna gamble their business. Like nobody's gonna.
True.
You trying to look for a business that's gonna be the most successful, not going
Yeah.
to, not for, unfortunately, not for what like this community needs. In a way, it is, but not. It's like the community may really need a let's say Starbucks, whatever.
A grocery
But
store.
I mean, sure, we'll go with a
I think you need that more than you need a Starbucks. Is all I'm saying.
Hey, motherfuckers is addicted out here.
Right.
Motherfuckers coffee is a serious addiction out here, son.
I said need.
You're right. You definitely. So, a business is not gonna, like a Whole Foods is not gonna come to Gary.
No.
Because they've already done a cost benefit analysis. Yeah.
You know, just to get it popping there. Like it has to be, it has to be.
Oh, okay. I see the point you're making now.
But,
So
but
it's a testimony to the area. Yeah.
sure, but I get.
What I'm saying is, it's like it shows you the realistic side of things.
So my slight like pushback to that is in we could say it's a case of a Starbucks. Dunkin' Donuts most likely has a better availability to that area, not because they're better or not because they care more, but because a cup of coffee doesn't cost $7. And in those
And they
areas,
should.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You paused. My bad. I'm not interrupting. I'm not.
in those areas, like then you go to a situation like a Whole Foods. Inglewood is about to lose their Whole Foods, which was like one of the original budget style Whole Foods. That's like we're only going to sell Whole 365. We're not bringing any outside products in to keep stuff affordable for the neighborhood. Now after what 5 years, they about to close.
Yeah, that's maybe I'll change it to like that's not what I respect about it, but it is very informative. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
It tells you a lot.
I wonder about that Whole Foods, right? Because I would think more people would go to that one if they were only selling a 365, which is cheaper than some of the other stuff.
It's cheaper
Like
than shit in regular Whole Foods. It ain't cheaper than food
So
at the actual
it's
grocery
based on
store.
the environment. Yeah. Still in the environment, folks can't. If folks aren't coming in giving business because they can't afford it, then it's not going to sustain. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Well, I think what Marcus, probably what you were saying is in regards to it being informative. Like, at least how I took it is, business is one of the things that, to some degree, is just straightforward. If it's doing well, they'll keep it. If it's not doing well, they won't. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's pretty.
To some degree.
That's pretty much what I was saying. But it's like sometimes I want all of the. Let's take Gary for example. I want us to have all of everything that everybody wants here, but if I'm thinking from a business mind point, like it seems like, well, not seems like, when people are in these areas, they don't value where they stay. So of course, when they come out, shop, then they're gonna trash it, and people come to Gary and to trash. It's like, so it's like people not gonna take their chances in a bad reputation place. So
That's unfortunate. Yeah, but it's true, man.
I wish that it was there is some type of incentive for people who are from where they're trying to make their business, to start their business, and some sort of security, because I think that's the major issue. Is they want to be secure, like they don't want all of their inventory having to be stole or having to be held up, every other night. So it's like,
yeah,
from a business standpoint, it's like it sucks because I'm less likely to start a business in my hometown.
Yeah, dog. That's the straightforwardness of business right there. But like, yo, like to that point, I remember working on the West Side when I worked for this nonprofit, Trees Atlanta. This thing called the Beltline was coming through, and like it was our job to always come in after it, like right after it was paved, to plant a bunch of the trees, because the Beltline is essentially like an arboretum, which is like a botanical garden of trees in a way. So we'd always come in, and then there was this Kroger right there that we'd always go to, and they had less than zero options, man, compared to others. I mean, it's just like night and day difference. And then when you go to this other area where the belt line would kind of go more east, heading a little, maybe even northeast, this Kroger has the most phenomenal selection ever, man. It's just like there's some business behind that, but it's like there's some business facts behind that in regards to like obviously the median wage and all that shit, and like household income and all that. But it's just so unfortunate when you see the night and day difference, man.
But you know what? That's a great point, because I think that no matter what, like grocery stores should have a standard of quality, and it should be some type of board or something that goes and makes sure this is true, because like we talk about food deserts, but we actually do have some little grocery stores in our neighborhoods, but it's trash.
Bro, I want to like speak to that too. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, I just think
sorry.
It's all
You're
good.
right.
They need to build some sort of a board, or maybe they probably already do. That regulates and makes sure is like some options and some quality standards across the board in all grocery stores.
Bro, like I'm even thinking like it wasn't like when I say they had zero options, they obviously had food, and like they had food while they had options in the store. I'm talking about like I was meaning more. I'm not speaking against what you're saying. I'm just saying, just to clarify, if I came off if I was confusing at all. What I meant is like they just lacked nutritious options. And I was just like, the whole store is full of everything that's not good for you. And like I was thinking, like, even if they created a board and like got together and was like and pushed for this without money, I wonder how far, like, even from a business standpoint, could it sustain itself for long without the necessary money to like get those things and bring enough people?
We live in a country that got unlimited money for you name it, but
war can't feed the poor.
True.
Things like this, they don't have any money or even attention to. So I can't look at that any longer, man. I can't consider that statement anymore.
Feel you, man.
We selling ourselves short, man. And people want to say like socialism, this and that, but it's like we gotta have some type of standard. Like you go to, when we talk about all these other countries, now we obviously not talking about third world, what they consider third world countries, because the US considers itself as number one. So out of all what they consider highly developed countries, most of them have some type of system, at least healthcare, at least something that'll ensure the people's health, or make them feel like, they care at least.
Yeah, man.
But we don't have that. Even with this, like, I hate to go dark, like, but not dark, but
heavy. It's the
other word.
Finals. You gotta say heavy,
man. I usually don't use that word. That's crazy. But that they keep saying that they keep delaying like this gun stuff. Like I think it's a long way. Like I think I said on here before, like about how long it takes things to change.
Right.
And it's just obvious stuff that like nobody will complain about changing. But I gotta ask myself, like, who are the people complaining and why? Like what's the resistance, man?
I just want to say one last thing is I feel like part of it is, I'm sorry, were you breaking it?
You good?
I was just gonna say that part of it is people have to show a need for certain things too. At least in regards to like the grocery store idea, I feel like people have to show a need or a desire, not even a need, a desire for different things in the store. I think that is part of it.
You think niggas don't want fruit?
No, I'm not saying dog, you see how many motherfucking honey buns was in that? I'm like, bro, come on, we gotta have something else. Like who? Like I'm sure a lot of that is also too like not just a desire, but a like pushing healthier foods in different areas. Like giving them healthier options. Like the idea of like this is a possibility because if you don't see it, that's why they keep bringing them the same shit.
I mean,
well,
yes, I
to
think
do with money too, but
as with any kind of thing, exposure is always going to be like one of the best tools that you can implement. Because
but does money bring that exposure a little bit? Does money help that? It's got to.
It's part of it. Money provides access. Access provides exposure. It's rare to get exposure without access. It happens, but that's usually nonprofit organizations trying to make sure that it's taken to them, while people who just have whatever not natural resources, but whatever monetary hierarchy that they're in, they get to just go places and do shit and try shit. I didn't see a star fruit until I was in my 20s. I didn't know what a star fruit was until I was in my 20s. So it's like motherfuckers who, you know, if you've been eating cinnamon rolls and fudge rounds for your whole life,
zebra cakes,
yeah, man,
like
that's a real deal. Holy,
that's all you've ever really known. I'm not trying to say that it's people's fault for not knowing. I think in the age of the internet, yes, it's great that you can try to learn more and whatnot. The internet can be great in those regards, and it's also like trying to get an answer to a question that you don't know you want to ask.
Yeah. I was gonna say that actually, like with the food thing, like as great as it would be for there to be these abundant grocery stores with fresh food that's you know not processed, and my concern is there's so many people that are ignorant when it comes to nutrition. Like I feel like if you of course you can learn, you know, it's never too late to learn, but I'm just saying like right now 2022 there's so many people across the board across the country that don't realize that just because they sell it in the store doesn't necessarily mean that you should be eating it. And I think a lot of people feel like, well, they're selling it, so it can't be that bad. Because we see all the time where we see people feeding their kids like just crazy stuff. I'm like, what? like
true, man. 3
slices of pizza and
ribs
in a liter of
Diet Coke,
orange Fanta. I'm like,
I was about to say RC Cola.
RC Cola.
And it's like, what's crazy is I'm not a parent, so I don't want to be judgmental too much. But what's so crazy is you have so much power, I guess. As a parent, like you can literally control what you give them. So like you could be like, okay, we're gonna do juice once a week or twice a week or whatever you decide that number is. But like I said, you if you're like in like a grocery store, you'll see. And I do this, and I know I shouldn't, but I'll judge people's carts, like of what you will see. Sometimes people will be pushing 2 carts full of Tricks, Fruity Pebbles, Gatorade. I'm like, I mean, all that stuff is great, but I feel like if that's 100% of your pantry, I kind of feel like you might be setting your family up.
That's kind of what I'm saying too. Is like even those who do know of different options, if that's all they're getting, then they're telling the store that's all they're getting over and over and over. They're going off to like the sales of what sells the hottest. It's the same old shit.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that grocery stores do track that shit.
Mhm.
But
Definitely.
it's
Because they gotta know
a,
How they gonna know what to stock? Yeah.
but I also know that companies buy shelf, like they buy shelf space, and so I know both exist in grocery stores.
Gotcha. Well, I'm definitely not expecting a Whole Foods to come to the hood. That's not what I'm saying. But like,
And
it would be
doesn't need
nice
to,
for
though.
Yeah, exactly. It would just be nice for folks to know more options. I guess what we're saying is a lot of things need to change. Even if it's slow, I'm okay with
Yeah.
slow change. Oh, what's that one saying? If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. As long as you're moving forward a little bit, even if it's slow change, man.
Now, what if I'm a paraplegic?
Yeah, shit.
Have somebody push you.
Yeah. Hey, you better hope for a wing, Gus.
Hey, I think they tried to appease people by putting bananas in gas stations.
That is an excellent
Why is
observation.
the banana the only thing you can find in a food desert?
That's
Oh,
funny.
And
man.
it's
That's
next
so
to
true.
it'd be next to cookies and brownies.
Yeah.
Why do
Like-
I feel like those bananas like probably aren't real? Like
Oh, I got fun facts for you on this. They
bananas
aren't.
aren't real. Yeah.
They aren't. Well,
Are they green?
all American bananas are clones.
Because they're seedless.
Yes, and like that, like it's the most straightforward of all GMO fruits that we probably don't get real bananas unless you're getting like plantains.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
organic ones that they sell must be from somewhere else. They're not.
That just means they don't use pesticides.
Organic
It doesn't-
clones.
like organic doesn't
Well,
mean
it has
it does-
different. No, it has different. It's just like invasive is different. It could be invasive from a different country or invasive in a different region of the country that you're in or state. So I think there's I don't know if it always just means you don't use pesticides.
I didn't say always, but
it
it's
could
in
mean
general.
local. It could mean, yeah.
The bananas they have in gas stations are less real.
7-Eleven. Because like no matter what color it is, it's still hard. Like,
They're typically gonna
I'm-
be green or brown. Brown.
I feel like they never changed those bananas.
I wonder how many they actually sell. Like out of the, like maybe 3% of the ones they have stock.
they just go to a Jewel that morning and grab that'd be enough.
But I think they had to have some type of somebody told all gas stations like y'all gotta have something.
Like, you gotta get some bananas, get some apples wrapped in saran
Y'all
wrap.
gotta have a few grapes in a plastic bag or something, man.
yeah. That was the way to do it.
Well, I think we can wrap there, fellas. Folks, there might have been some time before you heard this episode, and it's gonna be some time before you hear the next one. So I just want to forewarn you that we're going on break, and we haven't gotten this operation down to the point where we're recording like 3 episodes a week to make sure y'all never go without us. So we're gonna ask that tell a friend. Go listen to an old episode. I don't remember shit I said. I'm sure you don't. So go get them old laughs again. And
Sure.
we love and appreciate you. We're going on break so that we can come back to you even stronger for season 5. It's crazy that I can say season 5.
Breaking Bad status.
Huh?
I was in a good joke.
I would hope it's not Breaking Bad because that means we
That
we out.
That's why I said that's not a good joke.
Yeah, let's go ahead and collect these awards and go, I guess.
Let's do Grey's Anatomy. Let's do that.
There you go. 72 seasons of that. But yeah, we really appreciate y'all. We wanna continue to build, and even though when we get better, it ain't like we're gonna take these old episodes away because we gotta show what we grew from. So thank you for everybody that's been riding with us. Thank you if you new for joining in, and by all means, help the community grow. To what's the old slogan? Join the conversation. And by all means, your typicals are informally honest everywhere on all social medias. And rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Sponsor us on Anchor. All of these ways help us to grow because we want to get some better equipment. And then we're going to say it again.
Rave reviews.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that. Rave reviews.
Leave those reviews. If I tell one more person after they told me they listened to this on Apple or Spotify, like, yo, did you rate a review? And like, oh, you really wanted me to do that? If I hear one more motherfucker say that shit, we're gonna fight. Like right there.
Yeah. What the fuck? What a question. What a question. Oh, you really wanted me to support you as my friend? Yeah, man.
And continue to write in. Anise, if you're listening to this, which I hope you are, we want to put some more work and effort into responding to your lovely submissions. And always write us, inbox us, email us at informillionspodcast@gmail.com. And we want to include everybody. We're gonna make a mailing list to keep y'all posted on when we do things. We got stuff in the works. We trying to grow, y'all. And so, fellas, any last thoughts? Anything you want to share? Any anecdotes or great memories of this last recording season that you want to speak into?
Well, I want to say when it comes to the rate and review thing, if you hit play on an episode and then you go to the review portion of the app, you could finish writing a review by the time we finish the introduction. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
The bomb.
Yeah, dog.
Even if you a slow typer, you'll be fine. I'm long-winded.
For real.
Even if you want to say it's cool. It's cool. You don't even have to put an L. Just say it's cool.
Hey, W, you got anything?
Thanks for listening, y'all.
Oh yeah, thanks for listening too.
Yeah, Marco, you got anything?
ASMR, thank you.
What if you whisper the whole episode?
Yo,
Yang twins in it.
Do an ASMR episode. Now we really got to make sure that you even laugh. You got laugh like. All right, y'all. We out of here. Thank you for another great season, another great episode of InforMILLy Honest. We love you. We appreciate you. And every conversation that you have, every connection you make, and every interaction that you choose to indulge in, and even the ones that choose you. We encourage, we empower, and we implore you to always be forthright, be vulnerable, and sleep. Honest, nigga. We love y'all. The whole nest. Till further notice. Y'all
Peace, y'all, and much love to you.
Now, look for some off-season surprises.
Hey. Another super clip.
Without shedding a tear for my brother, I really wanna try for my brother, 'cause I truly do feel for my brother.